what I want to lay out for you here is I think the key scene for my current mentaculus of what's going to connect all the Coen Brothers movies is not from Blood Simple. It's from A Serious Man, and it's the part where he's doing the uncertainty principle on the blackboard, and he does this giant calculation that says we can't ever know what is really going on, and then he goes on to say that doesn't mean you're just because you don't know what's going on doesn't mean you won't be responsible for it on the midterm. But I think this is a central concern of the Coens is the inability of us to know what is really going on around us. And like, I think this is where I feel like kinship to them. I think this is sort of central to my philosophy of existence, which is, I do think there's, an objective reality out there. And there's things are sort of one way or another. But I also think that we can only access that reality through these meat sacks that are built and designed to the point that they're designed not to accurately convey objective reality to us, but just to like get us to make decisions that might get us to food a little faster than the next guy.
But yeah, objective reality is impossible to know from our own windows. I guess that's as true as anything. And they, I mean, Blood Simple is about as perfect an example of that as you could ask for. Everyone is going off the information they have in this film, and it's never enough information.
It's always leading them to the wrong conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that as even in the most comedic of silly contexts and the most serious, po-faced No Country context, the inability of the characters to really grasp what's going on around them is the source of a lot of their conflict and their troubles. And the other thing that is where their, I guess, more nihilistic bent comes in is how even figuring out what's going on doesn't often do them much good.
No.
Marty in this movie, the Danny Day character.
Sure.
He knows what's up with his wife and his underling from frame one of this movie. And no one in the history of cinema has ever lost harder than Marty loses in this movie.
Well, he doesn't see Visser, he doesn't really know who he's dealing with there.
Yeah, but he's on top of being betrayed by his wife, cuckolded by one employee, betrayed and shot by Visser, the contract employee that he hired to kill the other, salaried employees. And then Visser, on the other hand, the villain, he takes great delight in being the only one who actually knows what's going on in this movie. That he thinks because he knows sort of both angles of it, but Abby and Ray are completely oblivious to his movements. But how much good does it do Visser at the end? I mean,
right.
Well, you can look forward to like Big Lebowski, that he gains nothing and punishes no one by solving that mystery.
The great thing about Visser though is that I don't know, through it all, he kind of, I feel like he sees the humor in it. Like,
he does.
He sees the Matrix maybe, and understands sort of his that ultimately it's impossible to really move without it or move outside of it.
That humor though is what separates him from Chigurh from No Country, who also kind of thinks that he sees the Matrix in a similar way, and also gets a sort of a dose of reality, perhaps at the end. I was talking before about misunderstandings, not seeing the whole board, and how that drives like the conflict of Coen Brothers movies. And in a way, a lot of their movies are farce.
Yes,
and this is a pure farce, except that instead of creating goofy comedy the way that normally does, here it creates a bloody tragedy.
That's actually spot on. Yeah, this is a farce plot wise. Like the it's one shenanigan leads to another and misunderstanding, but it's never a joke. It's always something gets much worse because of that. Yeah. Oh no, that because of that, because he closed the door at the wrong time, somebody's going to get killed. That kind of thing.
He left his lighter behind here. That the wording that she uses matches what Dan Hedaya's impression of her was a little too closely, and that just totally rattles him later on. It's fascinating about Blood Simple and what makes it feel sort of key to at least my theory of the Coens. It's people not being able to see the whole board the way that we in the audience can, and that leading them to make worse and worse decisions. The final shot of the movie is Lord Mister looking up at the bottom of the sink as like a dot of condensation is pooling on this like plumbing knob, and like maybe going to fall onto his face right before he dies. But then it cuts to black before it does. And now, actually, I haven't done this before, but I pulled up this is purports to be an excerpt from the original screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
It says, okay, after they all give him the message part, all right. His point of view, the underside of the sink, its convoluted chromeworks beading moisture. Visser looking with mild interest. His point of view, a condensed droplet trickles down the chrome. Directly overhead, it hangs for a moment from the lowest point joint of the pipe. It fattens, wavers, and falls, spelling Finney. So maybe it is just that the drop is, sort of his
awareness,
his consciousness ending is it's a drop in the rain. I think what this does actually,
it's like Blade Runner.
But this was my theory on this that I wasn't fully convinced of. Although reading this now, just because it references the convoluted chromeworks beading moisture, I let my what I wanted this to mean was this is him. He's looking at the pipeworks under the sink, and that's him seeing the actual workings of the universe. He's the guy who's finally put the pieces together. He sees what's going on.
Yeah, he figures it all out at the end. He does. Yeah. He gets it. Yeah.
And it does him no good. But that is him finally becoming when he realizes that she thinks it's Marty and all that. That's like, oh, I get it. He's the guy who sees the plumbing of the universe.
And maybe you can only see that as you're dying.
Yeah. Or when it's too late.
Yeah, the last revelation before the lights go out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's damn knowledge. We can't have it. It's too much to fully. I don't know. Getting pretentious again here, but I like that very much. I mean, I think you need the phrase "convoluted chromework of the undersink" to truly get it. But
this is why I didn't believe it. Why I wasn't totally convinced is because I looked at it with that in mind. I'm like, that those pipes should be more convoluted, like, for that to get across. But
very good.
But if that is really what the screenplay said, then okay, maybe they didn't have a lot of money here. Maybe they just
that's what the sink looks like on the day. Okay,
exactly.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, that's what I'm going with.
No, that makes sense because that's what the movie is about. I mean, that's the thing. Like no one can see all sides of it, and then at the end he does, and it doesn't matter because he's dead. Yeah. I like that very much. That's cool. That's what the